Hi. Hi, it's Michelle and
Steve.
And you're watching Do What You Love here from USM Studio 705. How are you doing today? We hope you're doing marvelously well. Steve, how are you doing today?
Sensational. Michelle?
Sensational, that's a big word. Tell us why.
I think I'm just happy with where I am at the moment, and I'm really happy with the outcomes from everything that's been achieved so far. You know, we kicked off the year about 3 weeks ago. We've established our timetables and routines, and that's super important. I think out of the 8 years I've been running this organisation, this is the first year that I've been able to pretty much plan out the whole year, all our events, absolutely everything, and know exactly where we're going. So I'm feeling really certain, and knowing the road ahead is really reassuring.
Nice. I feel good too. Thanks for asking. I'm about to getting a new apartment closer to the studio, so I can spend more time here and less on the road, which I'm really excited about. So wish me best of luck. So that's about us. Today's topic is about investing, and investing especially into education. And I think it's time for us to have the chat. What you should do with your life, because I think a lot of you guys, they're looking for kind of a pathway or kind of an answer, like, what do I do next, right? Maybe you started as an artist, or you finished school, or been an artist for a long time, but kind of missing the link to success, whatever you define with that. So
yeah, absolutely. And look, guys, we're all been in the same boat. Michelle and I went to university. We were indoctrinated into a system which we believed was going to produce a result or a return of our investment, and that return namely being generally about $50,000 in a Bachelor of Music or Bachelor of Arts. It was about 2.5 years into university that I realised the system that I was brought into, and it wasn't specifically designed to give me a return on that so that I could build my own business and brand while I was there. It was mainly designed to continue to fill my head with lots of knowledge and continue having my classes and my sessions once a week with my piano tutor, who was amazing, but I still could have done that outside and saved myself about $40,000 and could have invested that into other things like studio time and house and all these other great things that can make you money. So we've been having lots of real conversations with a lot of our artists, particularly those that are between 17 to 19, that are just about considering going the next step and thinking, okay, well, all my friends are going to uni, or they're all doing studying science or medicine or all those things. And so the next logic thing for me is to go to university, because that's what mum and dad did, and that's what their mum and dad did. Unfortunately, guys, or fortunately, we live in a digital age. This economy is driven primarily by small businesses. What that means is a small business is an artist who's earning between 20 to 40, maybe 60, maybe $80,000 a year, or a small company, music company, creative company. Small businesses, small teams of 2, 3, 4, or 5, they're really driving this economy. And so, what that means is that we need to support that. We need to continue training people to make sure that we're producing more small business owners. And that's exactly what we do. Guys, a small business is an independent artist and a professional. So we talked last week about going pro, making money. Those of you who are ready now to go pro, you have to start asking some big questions. And one of those questions is?
Well, one of those big questions should be, if you're considering going to university. So first of all, we're not per se contra university, right? There are a lot of good reasons to go to university if you want to go into the education system, if you want to have a specific skill set that you can only get from a university degree, if you want to become an astronaut, right? There are very limited ways to get into that. So for those, if you have really the clear mindset of doing that, of course, go to university, because you see the outcome of your investment that you undertake. But for a lot of other reasons, it might not be that obvious to actually go down that route. So, for example, we were working, or I'm working with an artist at the moment, and she was considering going to university, and I was asking her a question. Look, if you want to go to that institute or that university, please ask the deacon or the prof or whoever your tutor one question. The question is, if I invest like 50 to 100K into that education.
By the way, sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
100K means 100,000 for those of you guys. I didn't know what 100K meant.
Oh, really?
No, not until about 22.
100,000.
So,
yes.
$100,000, which is the money that you're going into debt, and you have to pay that back, and you will pay it back the rest of your life. So just be mindful. That's what we're talking about here, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for clearing it up. Good. So $150,000 to $100,000. So how do this institution are planning to get you a return of that investment? Right, so that is really important. Think about that, right? If you invest a certain amount of money, which is a lot of money, and you have to pay that back, just because you don't have to pay it now, you need to pay it back, and that's really painful after. So if you ask them the question, they can answer that to you. Well, would you really invest into something or into someone that you don't know if they ever get it back to you, right? You wouldn't go to a restaurant and say like, all right, so here's $50. I don't know what I get back for that, right? You know what you want in a restaurant, you ask for your steak or for your whatever you want to do. And if you're not getting that, you wouldn't pay for that.
Well, you wouldn't go back, essentially, either.
Exactly.
You don't like it. So it's a bit of a try before you buy thing, and a lot of people do sign up to uni and then realize it's not the place for them, and that's good, they're not going into this debt. Just be very clear, I guess, what Michelle is saying, that you know what the result looks like and that your teachers out there can actually articulate that and show you the pathway, show you exactly how this can actually get you income and earn you income. And if they can't show you that, unfortunately, you're probably going to lose a bit of trust along the way, and self-resentment builds up because you made this decision and you essentially start blaming other people, or and you don't want to carry that for the rest of your life, guys. We've been there. It was. I definitely taken a lot of things away, and I think one of the biggest things that we found in our research of interviewing a lot of artists is they're looking for structure. They're looking for a place to continue being with like-minded people. And it's hard going from school, feeling belonging, part of this tribe, your friends, but then all of a sudden they're all gone. It's like, where do I go? And you're at home, you're by yourself, and you feel left out, yeah? Uni is not the answer for that, guys. It's one way, but if you're going to invest $50,000 or $100,000 to just get that and not get the degree to be able to then, get you an actual career that earns you income, it's probably not the right reason. So there's many other ways you can have structure and associate with like-minded people out there. And it takes a little bit of getting outside your comfort zone. But the sooner you can do that, guys, the sooner you can become pros and actually learn to connect with people and create opportunities and start making an income and building a business.
Yeah. So what are alternatives now to that, right? So if university, if that's questionable, or if you think you want to, or if you want to think about alternatives, well, what else can you do, right? So first of all, I think it's important to know that if you want to learn a certain skill set, you don't have to enroll into the university that gives you a lot of other things that you're not even looking for, right? So why not actually just going to the source of what you really want to do, right? So you want to be a filmmaker? Well, why don't you get in contact with a filmmaker that actually makes an income and learn from people from the industry, right? So that is the go to the source instead of an institution that can provide you with part of that source, right? So you really short link that system. That will be much cheaper because you don't have to have the admin fees and all of that. And so go to the source of what you want to do. If you want to learn a certain skill set, you can do a lot of that online. You can go to the tutor that you actually want to get tutored by, and then go in the industry that you want to go, right? If you know, if you want to have a certain skill set, you need to try out that environment that you want to be in. Yeah.
And even if you feel like it's the right decision, that's all good. Go, but test it out. Right, but don't wait too long. As I said, 2.5 years in, I was kind of like, I'm already halfway through. I might as well finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was sort of, if I was made aware of this, if I had people like, Michelle and other people here at USM really help us, find out about what we're getting ourselves into, and do your own due diligence, do your own research, really ask the right questions, because it's a lot of money, and it really is real money, guys, and I can't stress that out enough. I didn't realize it was real money that I'd had to actually really pay back. And so that's, and it took time, and you obviously pay it off over years. And look, there's a whole thing about tax as well, and I just have to bring this up. So, I had a lot of musicians that went, and I still kind of touch base on Facebook, that went through to uni, and I asked, so what are you doing now? Oh, I'm in law or medicine or, working in retail. And it's really surprising, and there's a big statistic of people that go into university and don't come out with the careers they intended, and having to pay that university back. So, and I sort of realized what was going on. There's a bit of this pattern because, you know, as kids, you know, we grow up, mummy and daddy support us, we become very dependent, but then we start earning income, we perhaps have some side jobs and all that, you know, but we're not thinking thousands, you know, 1,000 is just like, whoa, right? So it's kind of like way beyond. And so when someone says to you, you know, your career guidance counselor says, you know, it's $50,000, but doesn't matter, it's okay, you know, fee help or government will pay for it. So it's kind of like, okay, cool, no worries. And you don't have to pay that back until you earn $55,000 a year. So it's not going to be a while before you start paying that back.
Well, they actually brought it down to 40K now.
Yeah, so 40K now, not 45? Okay, so they're bringing it down. Now, guys, and again, truth exposed, the university system, the universities in Australia are in debt $41 billion. $41 billion. What that means is that all those people that went through uni haven't paid that money back. Okay, so it's not always the answer is what I'm saying, but let's just be real with this. I'm giving you guys options to really consider what you're getting yourselves into, but the point what I'm trying to make is, so the fact that it's 40K, well, you know what now? 40K is a lot of money, but I'll never earn that. I'll never learn that. So this is a subconscious program that happens to a lot of these musicians. They think, and every time they hear the word tax man, they run. And a lot of musicians in their 40s still that don't see the tax man because perhaps they might have to start paying that money back. Right? And look, this is the real thing. I know what's going on, guys. You know, I work with a lot of people, and it's a fear. Don't let that stop you. What you do want to do, you want to be able to create more than 40K, pay that money back with interest, and have profit for yourself as soon as possible. That's the idea. That's return on investment. Okay, so we teach a lot of these strategies, guys. We teach a lot of business. You know, going pro, phase 3. We teach you tools to basically monetize, build a following, connect, and start making diversified income streams. You know, and we all know how do artists make their money these days?
Well, definitely not through selling their music alone, right? So you have to really diversify active income, passive income. You have to know your market. So there's a lot to it. We don't want to get too much into that right now, so we slowly wrap it up. But we're not saying university is bad and everything else is better. That's not what we're saying. We just want to help you to make an informed decision so that you can be really clear on your path where you want to go. So if you need help with that, if you want to sit down and have a chat, we don't want to sell you stuff that you don't need. But if you have if you have questions, like that's what we do. We want to answer your questions. So either leave them underneath this post, or just give us a call, give us a ring. You know where we are, and we just want to see you succeed, guys. Let's
absolutely,
let's all be successful in this life, and if we can help you with that, that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Hit subscribe, and best of luck with everything, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.